Good evening and welcome. This is Valerie again. Today we will be addressing poverty in Canada, and in doing so, we will look at the causes, effects, and intervention. So, what are the causes of poverty in Canada? Some of the causes discussed includes unemployment and underemployment. So, lack of stable full-time job or employment that pays a living wage can be a cause of poverty. Also, we have part-time or gig work without benefit or job security. Another cause is high cost of living, as we all know. Rising cost of housing, food, childcare, and healthcare are other causes of poverty. We also have the urban centers like Toronto and Vancouver, which are especially unaffordable currently. So there's also the systemic inequality. And what that means is that discrimination based on race, gender, indigenous status, and disability contributes to economic inequality. So, for example, indigenous communities are disproportionately affected due to historical and systemic marginalization. And another cause has to do with lack of affordable housing. So, shortage of public and low income housing options is also a cause, as well as long wait list for housing assistance. There's also educational barriers, which is another cause of poverty. And this means that there are limited access to quality education and training. There's also educational attainment is often linked to income level. We also look at another cause, which is mental health and addiction issues. So this can hinder employment rather and housing stability, because often untreated mental health issues due to stigma and inadequate services could cause poverty. And how does poverty affect us? The effects of poverty includes health problems, for example, increased rates of chronic illness, mental health issues, and shorter life expectancy. These are all effects of poverty. We also can experience limited access to nutritious food and healthcare. And there's also educational challenges. Children in poverty often face lower academic achievements and higher dropout rates. Not Also, there's the homeless and housing insecurity. And what this means is that there's a lack of stable housing, which leads to increased homelessness or precarious living conditions rather. We also can see social exclusion and stigma, which also is an effect of poverty, because individuals may feel marginalized or excluded from full participation in society. And then there's the cycle of poverty, as we all know, and poverty tends to be intergenerational, making it difficult for families to break the cycle. So, how can we stop it? What are some of the intervention or strategies that has been put in place? So there are government programs and income supports, which looks at, for example, Canada Child Benefits (CCB), employment insurance (EI), and the Canada Workers Benefit, which is CWB. And there's also social assistance and disability benefits in place. Affordable housing is also another strategy that was initiated, and that has to do with the National Housing Strategy, which aims to build more affordable housing units, and reduce homelessness. There's also the universal child care and education support, which has to do with subsidized daycare or childcare and investment in early childhood education. There are also other strategies in place, such as job training and employment services, which are programs for upskilling, vocational training, and employment assistance. So, another strategy is community and non-profit organizations, and these are food banks, shelters, and mental health outreach programs. We also have indigenous led solutions, and these are support for self governance, culturally relevant education, healthcare, and economic development in indigenous communities. So, these are all strategies in place, and I hope that if you are experiencing poverty rather, you could take a look at some of the strategies that have been discussed, and it might not be of much help, but it is at least something that you can use to improve until you get to where you want to get to. So if there's any issues with you experiencing any of the effects that I've talked about, ensure to look at some of these strategies that are intervention strategies that I've discussed and try to link yourself up with one. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much for your time, for dropping by, and for listening. Have a great evening.